excuse the way I kind of look. I was working today. My hair is still wet. But I thought I would film a video because school is going back in the next couple of weeks. We are in September, and I feel like forever since I posted a video. So I thought I would do a little bit of like a life update, what the hell's been going on, because it's been a good couple of weeks since I posted something, and then also my back to school tips. I have 16 that are kind of like my big things. So the first thing, if you haven't noticed, is I am in a different space than I have been filming in the past. I spent a couple of weeks moving bedrooms. So I have moved bedrooms, so I'm in a new room, in a new space. I will do like a room tour once it's all set up. It's not quite there yet. I'm just getting my list. I put my list on my computer, the 16 things. And so I've got a list of my things, and so that is coming, and it took a long time to get rooms moved and stuff. I was living in our family trailer for a while, like it was a lot. So, on to the 16 things that I do when I'm in school, or my tips for going back to school, someone living with a serious health condition, or type 1 diabetes. So 1, teachers, all teachers care, but find the ones that really care. They care about your diabetes, they care how you're doing. Find those teachers, and build a relationship with them. I have one in particular in grade 9 that I had that he really cared, and he really showed me that he cared, and I built a really good relationship, and to the point where I could go into his classroom in grade 12 plus. I literally would knock on his classroom door in the middle of class. He would open the door, take one look at me, and go sit in the back of the class. And I would. So that was really, really good. Make friends, or have friends going into school that you really, really trust, and that you really, 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 really care and really want to be there and be a part of your friend group, and that will be there to help you through highs, lows, ups, downs, the whole 9 yards for sure. One of the other things is that I would get, or that I do, is I have an information sheet, which I think I've shown in a previous video. I think it was in like what's in my backpack video. I think I had it because it was in my backpack for a really long time. Also, if you go to my Instagram, I think it's on my personal Instagram, which I'll put down below, and you go back to back when I graduated, finished high school in June. There's a video. It's like the top 10 things to know, or the top 10 things I'm grateful for in diabetes, and there's pictures of it in there. But the info sheet basically has contact information, how to use a glucagon, signs and symptoms, just a basic amount of information on what diabetes is, what it's like, all of those things. So it has that for sure. Those are really key things. I also put on students that are at school that could help me, friends that if I needed, and then teachers. I think at the end I had 3 or 4 teachers on there, depending on the year and depending on who was teaching and who wasn't. So it all kind of worked like that. Check in with your teachers. If there are days where you feel like absolute garbage, check in with those teachers. Pick 1 or 2 and go back and forth between them. I was lucky. One of my teachers, I had 3 last year that I really were with. One of them was a math teacher, and the other 2 were science teachers. So they would see each other at lunch, and stuff. And so if I checked in with one in the morning and I didn't check in with the other one, they would check in with each other at lunch. And sometimes they would call me down and just check in with me before the end of lunch, just being like, hey, how are you doing? Things like that, just to make sure. So really checking in with them. Always have extra supplies. Always have your basic supplies. I had a container that I got from, I think, Canadian Tire that fit in my locker, and it had extra strips, extra needles, an extra meter, extra Gatorade, extra juice, snacks. Like, it had everything. Know where your stuff is all the time. I know with our school you're not allowed to have backpacks. You're not supposed to have backpacks in your in our science classrooms, in our tech labs. So I had a smaller backpack that I would use to hold my stuff. I had a smaller bag for that. I'd have and I just throw in my insulin, juice, snacks, and my glucagon would be the things I'd put in there. So make sure you have that for sure. Know what your limits are in terms of what you can do, what you can't do. Don't overdo yourself. So for example, Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, I used to have swim practice. So I would get up Tuesday morning, go to swim practice. I'd go to school all day, and then I'd go to work. And that was a lot. And I learned by the end of it that if I'd work Tuesday, Thursday, so I would be up early in the morning on Tuesday, go to swim practice, which started at 7, and I'd leave my house by 6:20. So I'd be up at 6 a.m., I'd leave, go to swim practice, go to school. I'd go to school all day, I'd be at school all day, and then I would go to work, and I'd start work at 4, and I'd work till 8, in the pool, teaching, because I'm a swim instructor. So then I would do that, and then I would go home, do homework, and go to bed, and that was tiring. Wednesday and Fridays were really rough. Wednesdays in particular were really rough on my diabetes, and so I knew that, and I told the teachers, I said, this is not gonna be easy. There were days where I would have those and swim practice, and I helped manage our track and field and cross country teams, so I'd have swim practice, work, managing stuff I'd have to do for track and field, and I would be done. And Wednesday morning I would come in and I'd meet with one of the teachers in the morning, or I'd see one of them in the hallways, and they would take one look at me and go, rough night. So they'll get to know you and you'll get to know them, and that's something really. Always eat lunch. Side effect of diabetes is you don't know when you're hungry, when you're full. Often, I definitely do. I don't know when I'm hungry anymore. I don't eat well. I eat well, but I often, it's like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. I haven't had lunch. I didn't even have breakfast this morning. I should eat something. So always make sure that you're eating lunch, because that will help regulate your blood sugar and your body, for sure. Stay in tune with your body. Make sure you know what's going on. Make sure you know how you're feeling. All of those sorts of things. Make sure you know where you are mentally. Those things are really, really key. Know what your rights are in terms of, I can't do this today. This is not gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to do for it. Fight for yourself. I will go into detail on a story where I really did have to fight for my rights, and for my rights for education and experiences. Maybe I'll film that video later on today, depending on how I'm feeling. Know those things, because you are the person. It also really helps that I have really, really, really supportive parents that are very much like, you can do anything you want. So that's for sure. Another one that I got here is do your best. All your teachers are ever asking is for your best. So if your best is you show up to school and you feel like crap and you don't think you can do anything, and you literally show up and you put 20 minutes of work in, and then you lay your head down on the table and fall asleep, that's your best. Just tell your teacher when you show up to class. I remember back in grade 11 or grade 12, I can't remember which one, I took environmental science. And that environmental science teacher was the same teacher I had in grade 9. And he was really, really nice. I really, really liked that teacher. He was a really good teacher. And I remember I went into class one day. I had been low all afternoon. Like, it was the end of the day. I had been low all morning. I was feeling quite sick, not feeling well. And I was hoping that my mom would come get me early and take me home, but she didn't. And I had picked up 2 extra shifts, so I had worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it was Friday. Like, it was also Friday. Like, it was the end of the day, and I had to work in the morning. And I was not feeling well. And I came in, and I sat down at my desk, and I was early to class. Like, I came straight down from my other class. And I put my head on my desk, and I just sat there. And he came over and tapped me on my shoulder, and he's like, how you doing? And I broke down in tears. And he said to me, and I love this, and I'll always remember this to me, he said, okay, he said, I'm gonna ask you to test in 20 minutes. All I want you to do is sit. And if you lay your head down and you fall asleep, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay? And he's like, I will even wake you up after the bell, when everyone has gone. And to me, that was a really, really touching moment, because he knew the best that I could do at that moment was just be in class and not be somewhere else where I wasn't safe. So yeah, something to think about and always to have is extra food on hand in school, in your backpack, in whatever you carry around. So I always had extra food. I always had extra granola bars. I always had fruit snacks. I always had all sorts of things. One of the things I noticed was really helpful was writing down how much insulin I had at lunch, so I knew, because I can't remember, right? You're at school, you have a lot going in and out of your brain. That one you can sometimes forget. So remembering how much you had in your body, like you took at lunch, and when, so you could figure out if you had any active, or if you needed to correct more, you could figure out how much you still had in your system. No one can tell you how to live diabetes and go to high school. I can't. I can give you my experiences and how it works and how it helps me, but I can't tell you this is how you do it. Teachers can't tell you that you can't do this because of your diabetes, unless it's a severe thing, and they have a valid reason for things. And you can do anything you want. Anything you want to do, anything you hope to do in life, you can do. Diabetes won't slow you down. It's just one greater step towards finishing, and it's one more challenge that you overcome, and for that you're a stronger person, for sure. So yeah, for kids going into high school, one of my tips that is not related to diabetes or back to school, but just one of my general high school tips is get to know people. Try everything you want to try. Don't say, oh, maybe next year, maybe. Give it a go. Remember, do your best, and always ask for help. Your teachers are there to help you and give you more information, so if you get stuck, ask for help. They have tons of resources, and they know lots of people that can help you, so get the help you need. If you have any questions about tips for high school, of any grade, I completed 4 or 5 years of public high school with a severe learning disability. So I have a learning disability, so I can tell you other kind of sides of that, and how that all worked. If you have tips, or want some general advice, for sure. If you have any questions about how my day-to-day life went managing diabetes at high school, and how much harder that can be, let me know. And yeah, check out my Instagrams, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.